Lawyer Anton Kleijweg he works with the Schumann Kleijweg Defense Advocate in Voorburg near the Hague, and he's been a regular guest over the years, and we appreciate his cooperation with us, and we're truly valued. Thank you so very much.
My pleasure, Pastor Larry.
Yeah. Now we're going to actually tackle three areas in this discussion. First of all, the kinderpardon. We're going to tackle also the art procedure. The asylum seekers are just using that term to qualify those who lost the case and you know the art of the procedure, so to speak. And then also we're going to briefly touch on, if that permits, on the permits to labor migrants. What are the changes and the updates in all these three areas? That's the purpose of our discussion today. If you're out there listening and you want to react or have a question for the lawyer Kleijweg, please feel free to call to the studio 020-737-1619. Now, lawyer Kleijweg, let's kick off by asking if you can give our listeners a quick overview of the status of the kinderpardon immigration regulation. Just a quick overview of that, the status so far.
Okay, Pastor Larry, the situation is on the moment that those who are entitled to the kinderpardon and for whom the arrangement was intended, they all got a decision, and those who are allowed to got also their permit. But that means that there is still a large group of people who did not qualify for the kinderpardon. And that is very sad, because the children cannot be blamed for that.
Yeah.
Now the problem is, of course, what to do next. Well, those who are in procedure are still in procedure, and they will be supported by specialized lawyers of every country in the Netherlands, also supported by Defense for Children.
Yeah.
And they will keep on their procedure, I think, for the Raad van State and even to the European Court for Human Rights in France. So let's hope for the best for them.
Okay. So basically, for those children who didn't make it, and their cases are under review, is in the Dutch High Court, and it will be going to the European Court eventually. You said, well, I think if I understand you correctly, you said by default the case at the High Court, Dutch High Court, may not turn out positive, and that would by default send it to the European what do you call it, European Court or something like that?
European Court for Human Rights in France.
Okay. So just explain that scenario a little bit more clearly to our listeners.
Well, the Dutch High Court, the Raad van State in Den Haag, is subscribing the point of view from the government that those who did not have an asylum background are not entitled for kinderpardon. Also, they're giving a very restricted explanation to the kinderpardon. So basically, all those cases that have been rejected by the government the appeals will be rejected by the Raad van State. That is quite a one-to-one situation. So if you've been rejected by the government, most likely the Raad van State will reject you, and then there is only one possibility left, and that is filing a complaint with the European Court in France. And that is in that procedure the only way to go. But of course, you can also see whether you can start another procedure.
You mentioned something in passing. The kinderpardon is being linked to asylum?
Yes, it's related to. It's only for children with an asylum background. If your parents applied for asylum for themselves and for the child, then they are in the scope of the kinderpardon regeling. If the parents meet all other requirements, but they don't have an asylum background, it will be rejected straightforward. And I think that is not fair. And
I'm not
the only one who thinks it. Most of my colleagues think the same.
Okay, so then those who didn't make it, so they are the other group you are saying are in the appeal process now?
Yes.
Okay. You mentioned something about some of them who have either been born here or they came here very young.
Yes.
I mean, those children. So what is their situation? I mean, can you explain that to us.
There is a possibility to start another application, but then you must keep in mind the following.
Yeah.
Parents who are staying here without a residence permit,
Yeah.
doing that in conflict with the Dutch law.
Yeah.
So they should not benefit of them breaking the Dutch law. But you cannot blame the children for that. They're born here, or they're brought here at a young age.
Mm.
So by the time they become 18 years old,
Mm.
they have been living all their lives in the Netherlands. They went to school, they have become a little informal Dutchmen, I would say.
Yeah.
By that time, they can apply for a residence permit
Mm.
independent from their parents.
Yeah.
And then the parents cannot apply for a residence permit to stay with the children anymore.
Okay.
So the parents cannot benefit of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And the Raad van State has decided earlier
Mm-hmm.
that in cases like that, where the parents cannot benefit from their behavior through the child,
Yeah.
it might be a possibility to obtain a residence permit for respect of their private life.
Okay.
Of course, there's no guarantee,
Mm.
and there are a few other requirements,
Mm.
but there at least is a path that you can follow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, Mr. Ababujay, can you tell us, are there children in the group that are here in Amsterdam Southeast who have lost the procedure, so to speak, who probably are asylum, who have an asylum background?
Well, thank you, Pastor. For what I know, we are here, wij zijn hier group in Amsterdam. We have two different groups and now becomes three.
Mm.
One in Vloed Garage,
Yeah.
here in
In
Klarenbeek.
Yeah.
One, the other one in Vloed Gebouw.
What is that?
That is next in Jan Torpstraat. That is next to St. Lucas.
Okay.
And the third one now is part of the group which used to be at the Jan Torpstraat, you know, that is the background from Eritrea.
Yeah.
Have been given a place in, how do you call it, Nieuw Herengracht, by Waterlooplein.
Yeah.
Which means it has become, you know, patches.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have children among us. And there were a few women.
Mm-hmm.
To be you know, in Vloed Garage we don't have no women there.
Yeah.
But in Vloed Gebouw, there are women,
Mm-hmm.
approximately 20, 25 to 30.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the women that we have so far. And we had two women who were pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And the community, the burgemeester, and with the help of the supporters,
Yeah.
they were able to locate them, allocate them to, you know, a place where they can
Safely deliver.
deliver.
Mm.
And this is what we have in so far. We don't have children
Mm.
among us, and this is what I can answer for your question.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, let's feel free, Mr. Babuji, if you have a question for Lawyer Kleijweg.
And let me just quickly go to, you know, because from the way you stated that only under asylum procedure and applicants have that how do you call it, chance of getting the pardon for their children.
Well, the pardon already has been terminated. There's a 3 months opening possibility, and now there is a more permanent arrangement, but it requires at least that the parents and the children have applied for asylum at least 5 years ago.
Mm.
And that is a bit funny because why should only children with an asylum background will be entitled to something like that? Of course, I do not endorse parents having children in an irresponsible way and using them in any kind of residential procedure. But if you make an arrangement like that, I think you should focus on the children and the fact that they are born here or grew up here, and that their private life should be respected. And then you should not look for all kinds of formal reasons to limit the size of the group or to give certain people a permit or not. In the Dutch language we say gelijke monniken, gelijke kappen, equal treatment for all.
being a lawyer, and as a matter of fact, I think you are relating your advocacy to that of the European Union. What they impose, and on what ground do you stand? Are you balancing your how to call this? Your advocacy, your lawyer, service. Are you balancing it with the law that the EU, the European Union, pass to the European communities, or you just supporting Holland or Netherlands on his
on their point of view
on their
this
point
case.
of view.
Now, basically, I do not support any point of view, because my position is that I should do my very best for my clients to obtain what they're looking for, do my very best within the limitations of the law. Then the question is, what is the law in this country? Well, a European law, either from the European Union or from the European Treaty for Human Rights, is a law that goes above laws produced by the Dutch government, and so they are also applicable in the Netherlands. Now I'm explaining it with a shortcut, but that is roughly how it is. European law is Dutch law.
European law is Dutch law. Okay, if that's the case, then I can push you too hard. In recent days, we had we protested against the basic human rights which the European Union and the United Nations has given to every individual who is living under the umbrella of European countries. And which are the 5 basics in your perception? Let me just, as a layman, pretend as a layman. What are the 5 basic human rights that a country should give to migrants, whether be it under asylum or not under asylum? What are they? And before that, then I can.
I assume that you mean irregular immigrants, because those who already have a residence permit, they're okay.
No, I'm talking about irregular. Yeah.
Personally, I think there is a balance on the edge of a knife here, because if you are too kind as a country to irregular immigrants, all immigrants are tending to come to your country, which is not always a good thing, not for the immigrants themselves either. But every basic thing is what is available now, I think, in Amsterdam, not in other countries or other cities, but is bed, bug, brood. Everybody should have a place to sleep, food to eat, and a place to wash himself. Medical treatment for urgent medical problems is also available. That's arranged for by Dutch law. Not everybody knows it, but it is how it is. So with that, now there is a ruling of bed, bug, brood. I think the bottom line has been covered, that the most basic rights have been covered. And now you asked me for the 5 things, I mentioned only 4. What is...
I think the 5th one you can add it.
I think proper subsidized legal aid, and that is also available, especially if you choose a lawyer from either the Vereniging voor Asielrechtadvocaten, who are specialists in asylum law, or the specialist in Vereniging Migratierechtadvocaten, who are specialized in regular immigration law. Not every lawyer who does immigration law is an immigration lawyer. So, if you spend some time checking the possibilities, you will be able to get free legal aid or almost free legal aid by a proper specialist. And I think that is also the 5th thing you should be entitled to as an irregular immigrant.
There are a lot of people who are not yet an asylum seekers, but yet they are residing, under the irregular. They fall under irregular immigrants.
Okay.
And you asked about you already said about a child who was brought when she was young, or she was born here with the parents with the irregular parents,
Yeah.
at the age of 18, he or she has the right to
apply for residency.
personally apply.
That's an option. I
What
think
about
proper option.
the parents who live there for 20 years and do they also have some? Are there some?
No, that's not yet, because there is a very clear line of decisions from European courts, and that says that the fact that somebody is an irregular immigrant and he is staying here without a residence permit does not grant this person the right to stay.
To apply, or no, I'm talking about application. Apply.
Yeah, you can apply for everything, but applying is not the thing, it's the thing that you get. Because you don't like to apply for a residence permit, you want to get a residence permit. You want to be entitled to a residence permit. That is the real thing you want as a regular immigrant, because making applications you can do often.
Any time, yeah.
And it will cost you dearly, but making the application is possible. But the question is, will you get the permit? And will you get the permit because of long stay in the Netherlands? Basically not, but there is a kind of unwritten rule that says that if you have been 30 years in the country, 30, and the country still did not expel you, and you must have been in the country basically uninterrupted, because if you have been expelled and you come back, then the clock starts ticking again.
Yeah, yeah.
After 30 years, and you can prove that you have been integrating, you don't have a criminal record, basically you have been a nice, regular immigrant, then the European court sometimes says, well, you should have sent him home within 29 years or something, because after 30 years, basically a member state kind of loses the right to expel somebody. But that is not easily accepted. And that is for adults who came here voluntarily on their own feet.
Yes.
That's good.
30 years.
30.
30 years, and I think
Well, I think that gives a window of opportunity for some people who probably are at that level or approaching that level. You know, if all other avenues of rectifying their status, has failed, then maybe that may be a lifeline, to people like that.
Yeah, but the question is, why would they stay 30 solid years being illegal?
Well, if circumstances do not favor them to rectify the status, and they keep hoping, everybody has hope that one day things will work out well. So they are entitled to that hope.
And in the past it was easier to stay in the Netherlands without a residence permit. You could find work, you could have health support, you could have even social security. But all that changed somewhere in 1989 or 1998, 2000. After that, life became tougher and tougher. But some people gave up everything in their own country, or they really don't want that. Some people are really stubborn, and so be it. I'm not a judge. I cannot look in somebody's heart or in somebody's life. But they just hang on. I have a few people, also a few clients. Some fell ill here. Wow. And they are in medical treatment, and they're, someone is 31 years here, and maybe there is an option for them. No guarantee whatsoever. Yeah. But if you don't try it,
you never know.
You never know. Yeah. And of course, people who are listening now think, I've been in 10 years in the country already. Should I try? My answer is no. Don't even think about it. It is really a kind of level. You must be here 30 years. Or more.
30 years.
Yes.
Close to the...
It's terrible.
So I think, listeners, I'm not taking this, I think word to a wise is more than enough, because for you to live 30 years, then what have you, what is left for you again? Because you can accept nothing to, because I think I will advise you, I think, since Pastor says hope, we live here by hope.
Mm-hmm.
I think with hope that is what is keeping us. I think for me to live here 30 years undocumented, I better find my way back home.
Yes.
Because the 20, if I spend 10 years, 20 years, I can do something for the country. Because if you stay here for 30 years, they are not using you, and you are not going to be used.
Yeah, exactly.
And you are hiding.
And you are hiding.
And your talents
after 30 years, they are giving you, you apply even, that is, you know, 50-50.
Yeah. No, but some,
30 years is not small.
Yeah, but
for
some
one
people,
to waste his life.
no, for some people who have lost, let's say, within 30 years, they've lost maybe contact with their home countries. They've lost family connections. Even the hope of getting a decent life again is gone. So they are learning to look forward to.
Pastor Larry, now I come to you because since you're pastor, humanitarian ground.
Yeah.
Do you think somebody living in a country where it is for 30 years? Yeah, and you know is it humane treatment under this country? Let's come to the pastoral.
No. Well, you see, the thing is that there is a conflict between the humane side of issue, and then the legal side. You get the point. But somehow at certain times, you know, there's the balance which is found. But it comes once in a while, like when pardons are granted. You see, it's tough, you know, to want to live, you know, in a hidden way for all these years. It's very tough. And that's why, you know, those who are, you know, in the humanitarian services, you know, they reach out to help people like that. When the law says, no, you can't help them, you shouldn't help them, it's illegal, blah, blah, blah. But those who are in humanitarian and charitable services reach out to help people like that because, you know, you have feelings, you know. They're entitled to certain basic things.
Anyway,
So,
I'm glad. You know, I'm glad that I had that. You know, 30 years because then we will know how to because human beings are the one making laws, right?
Yeah.
The laws are made by human beings,
absolutely.
and they are made by individual. So I think since now we got the tip, I think we can organize some activism on that and protest on that.
All right, good.
Yeah, because through protest, I think, you know, Holland is built on a protest. You know, protesting, movement. So I think, lawyer.
No, maybe I can interrupt in this matter. I am sometimes building up a reputation of being a very unfriendly lawyer, because my clients always tell honestly, look, you're here for 10 years. The fact that you're here without a permit is not going to work out for you. It's good that you have a plan A, which is getting a residence permit and live happily forever after.
Yeah.
But be a wise man or woman, make a plan B. What am I going to do if it is not going to work? I do not encourage people against better knowledge to stay in the country hoping for something that is not likely to happen. Because I also know that those people who are here could build up something in their own country. They are more energetic than most people. Often they're a bit smarter than most people. They have seen other countries, other cultures, because being here for a long time makes you look at things differently. So why not go at least get information about voluntary return? What would be possible?
That's another good option, actually.
Can I go to the IOM? Could I get a micro loan? What could I do? And I know people who are decided to quit. They said, well, this is no good here. I didn't like the climate from the start, and a permit I won't get anyway. They bought a few minivans, pushed it, filled them up, and shipped them to their country. And they built up a business there. And they are doing awfully well, better than their counterparts in the Netherlands, who got a residence permit, and who are stuck in, well, how do we say it politely, a not much enviable job. So getting a residence permit is not the only option.
It's not a license to heaven, actually.
Yeah, you bet.
Back to the voluntary return. We had 3 people, I think, among our group. One is David. I forgot his name. David. He's a Liberian. He went back voluntarily.
Just make this point. Repeat it loud and clear to our listeners. If you're a parent, you have children, you brought children into this country at a young age, or maybe you gave birth to them here in this country, and something went wrong, and the children didn't get their residential status, because I know of people some time back who had children here. Children were born here and everything, but because their parents didn't have the status then, the children were denied the status. So if you have children in that sort of category, the information is that it's possible for your kids to be granted a residential status, I think from the age of 18 onwards. They can apply by themselves.
If baby applied just before 18,
Or just
then
before 18.
that's also a possibility.
Okay.
Is it that they are applying for the passport or?
No, the residence permit, residence status.
Because if you don't have a residence permit, you will not be able to get a passport also. So the first step in everyone's procedure is applying for a residence permit.
Yeah. So the information is that, please, if you have children out there, do not let this chance go to waste. Let them consider, helping them to quickly apply for the residency so that their future is secure. It's a very comfortable practice or situation for children to live in uncertainty, in this country, when they can have access to all kinds of possibilities to improve their future. So please think of this and don't let them suffer in silence. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, back to the out-proceeded asylum seekers. I was asking a funny question earlier on. What will happen if some of them decide to fall in love with a married Dutch man,
Yes.
Dutch woman? Would that help the situation? Because it's very miserable for people to be locked up in some kind of limbo.
Yes.
You can't go forward, can't go backwards, because of regulations. So can that help them? Because some of them are handsome looking and some of them are beautiful.
Exactly. I was thinking of that question too.
Any specific person you had in mind, Pastor? What is your plan? No. Of course, falling in love will not help. If you're planning that, because falling in love is not plannable, it will happen to you. It's like lightning, you get struck by it, whether you like it or not. And then, of course, that might change things. You might be possible or able to apply for residence permit to stay with partner or wife, and it can be male-female relation, but also male-male, female-female. This is the Netherlands.
Law,
21st century, so no problem. But it should not be any kind of relationship with the main intention to get a residence permit. That is cheating, that's fraudulent, it's a criminal offense, and it is of course hell to be in a relationship for 5 years with somebody only for that reason. So I prefer, I think, to go back to Liberia than being with somebody for 5 years, which I didn't genuinely like.
Unjustified inclusion. We call it, you justify your inclusion.
Yes, I don't know Liberia, but it cannot be that hard.
Is there any way they can check if you are in a genuine relationship?
Yes.
I mean, they know how to determine whether this person who is in asylum loves the person.
That is quite simple, quite easy. Because
what about if they are judging it based on bias? Because yes.
Well, I want him to say it's quite simple. I want to know how you can determine.
It's quite simple. If you have genuine relationship with somebody, you know things about each other, about each family, each other's family, and questions can be asked, and those questions that will be asked can be answered if you have a relationship with each other, and if you're living together like man and wife together. If you are faking that, it will be found out. Bias, well, there will be some pretty tough questions if you are not very clear about the less tough questions. I have been seeing those interrogations by the immigration authorities before. I've been present there because of my clients, and I must say that in general they're not biased. Sometimes they're getting a bit too enthusiastic in asking all kinds of questions, and then as a lawyer you say, dear officer, your question is not so kind or is a little bit impertinent. then the officer will realize that he's going a bit too far.
Yeah.
And then he will hold back. It's all human beings' work, and the officer who's asking the questions is also a human being. So I would not worry too much about it. If your conscience is clean, well, then don't worry about it. If your conscience is almost clean, you start to worry.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Mr. Ababuje, you have another question for Clever about the asylum?
Asylum seekers,
Before we move on.
we always have a question, What are some of the challenges that you might come across? How to determine a particular place where your client comes from? Maybe he or she might say that I'm from Nigeria, and well, I'm from Nigeria, and of course he might come from Nigeria, but maybe
He might not.
He might not. What are some of the things that you need to prove this person wrong?
I am in the lucky position that I don't have to prove that. The person concerned has to prove that he is right. Because, first of all, I'm not an asylum lawyer, I'm a lawyer in regular applications.
Regular applications.
But it does not matter. Somebody who applies for any kind of permit should, asylum or regular, should prove who he is. You have a legal obligation to show your passport. If you have your passport with you, that is quite easy. But if you don't have your passport with you for whatever reason, then you have to provide information about where you came from, detailed information. If I'm asked, kleijweg, you don't have a passport, where do you come from? I can tell you the name of the street where I was born, the number of the house, the people who are living there. I can tell you where I went to the school, the kindergarten, the basic, and the lagere school, school. I can tell you so many details about my life, even though my memory is rather poor in those days, that you will be able to trace me without any problem. Of course, in some, let's say, more rural areas of this world, that will be a bit more difficult. But even then, there is enough paper trail for somebody to support his statement. And that will be checked because there is a big computer system with all kinds of information like that. People from the embassy can go and have a look and ask around. And if so, if you're speaking the truth, well, most likely it is possible to prove where you come from. However, the real problem is for those who applied for asylum coming from country A, then apply for something else coming from country B, and they still don't have a passport. Then nobody believes them. And we cannot blame the immigration authorities for it, because most of us would not believe it either if somebody is telling this story and that story, and then again tells a new story saying this is the truth and nothing but the truth. So my experience is that if you are from a certain country and you really try, you can prove it.
Let me ask this question, please. Those people who are in Ebola troubled countries now, and they found themselves sick, are they being granted?
Those who are in
Ebola troubled countries.
and they find themselves sick, and they
They find themselves here.
No,
they are not
here.
sick. They are not
they
sick.
will not get.
They have migrated now.
No, they will not get the permit because.
Why?
Because they're not asylum seekers, because there's nothing political about political asylum, and the chance that you will get Ebola is rather limited. European court gave a judgment about that. It's harsh, but it is not inhumane. And of course, when you go to a country that is Ebola troubled, it's mostly in one part of the country. Nobody tells you that you must go and live in that part of the country. You can also go to another part of the country.
Before I come to that political asylum, let me quickly. Do you know about Dublin? Because
Yes.
okay. What is the Dublin? Because my group and my peers, we are here. This is what we are, calling for. That because the Dublin case is very. It's making the people crazy because if I'm not welcome here in Holland, maybe I might be welcome in Germany. And most of us, who have their fingerprints in Holland, they cannot. They are now in a very in a limbo as you said. How can one get out from this fingerprint issue and what is this kind of?
There is basically no way out of this because it is a start for European asylum law and immigration law that there was a treaty. The treaty has been signed in the city of Dublin. That's why they call it the Dublin Treaty. And that says the point of first registered entry within the Schengen area, and the Schengen area is a group of European countries, that will be the country that is responsible for all your immigration procedures, unless proven otherwise. So if you come to Europe and you apply for asylum in Spain, Spain looks at it and rejects your asylum request, and then you travel to the Netherlands and you apply for asylum again in the Netherlands, you will be, together with your asylum request, you will be transported to Spain to be there, to be processed there. Of course, if you get married to a nice Dutch lady, as the pastor suggested, then of course you can settle your immigration case in the Netherlands. But it is so that in the Schengen area, first port of call will be your permanent port of call.
Okay.
And also, we should not be too sad about that because immigration law is a system. It is Europe-wide. So it is not likely that you will get in the Netherlands a more favorable decision than in Spain or in Germany. It is not a lottery that if you throw in a coin, you pull the lever and you get lucky. If you try it often enough, no, it is a system. So I would say, don't bother too much about it. Don't focus on new asylum requests here and new asylum requests there.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna work.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Let me just put in the last question because of time. I think it has been a very fruitful discussion.
I think I love talking.
Now, can somebody with a serious health concern, health situation, be granted pardon who is in asylum, who is an unproceeded asylum seeker?
Yes, Pastor Larry, that is quite well possible, but often it is only temporarily.
Temporary, okay.
Temporary?
Just mentioned pregnant women.
Yeah.
For instance, they cannot travel
during
the pregnancy at least. So if they apply for what they call Article 64, a temporary stay because of medical reasons, they will get a stay, a temporary permit, at least they will not be expelled for 6 weeks before the expected date of birth until 6 weeks after the date of birth. During that they will get housing, medical treatment and some welfare. So that will be taken care of. Another group of people is those who are going to are close to the end of their life, the terminal, those who are basically going to die. They are being granted also temporary stay so they can die in some comfort and dignity. I think it is up starting 6 to 3 months before the expected expiration of the patient. That is also an option. For those who are not terminally ill, there's also an option to apply for that.
But who are sick, you mean? People who have
they were so sick that they cannot travel, and if they're being expelled anyway, they will likely die during the transport or within 3 months after being expelled. And that can be because of the reason, because of the transport, but it also can be because of the fact that there is in the country of origin no medical treatment available.
Okay.
And that is a very difficult one because as a lawyer you don't know all medical details.
Yes.
And you don't know all details about every country, and it's changing all over again.
Yeah.
So those who are really, really, really sick can apply for such a thing. However, you must make at least credible, if possible, proof where you come from. Because if you are from one country in Africa where the medical treatment possibilities are quite good, you can be sent back. And if you're from another country where the treatment is, they only have aspirin, then you're likely to die there. So the immigration authorities they want to know where you come from. Because if you're from country A, they can send you back, but from country B, they cannot. And they're entitled to ask that, because that's a necessity for their judgment. So, but there certainly are possibilities, but it is usually temporarily for the duration of the medical treatment. Some medical treatments are lasting very long. Some people need a kidney or heart transplant, and they need regular updates and checks. They will get it in the Netherlands. I've seen that before. And if you have been on such a temporary status for at least 1 year, you can apply for a residence permit for medical treatment. And that will be granted if you have been sick and you're still sick and you need a lifelong or at least long-term medication or medical checkups. Like if you have a liver or kidney transplantation, you always need a medication to suppress rejection of the organ from the body. And that is not in every country in the world available.
Okay, well, time runs. We would like to thank you so very much, Lawyer Kleijweg, for traveling all the way from Robert. Thank you for being an active partner and supporter of our radio programs. God bless you richly. We'll keep praying for you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Ababuje, Mufti Ababuje, thank you for responding at such short notice to be here. I forgot to tell Lawyer Kleijweg we're going to have another guest. Pardon me for that. I called him I sent him a text yesterday and he responded. I wasn't even sure he was going to come, but he's made it. Thank you so very much. I hope, and to our listeners,